This is Britt Caswell with another example video. In this video, I'm covering example 3 from section 3-1 in the SavvasRealize Algebra 1 textbook. So this video is covering classifying relations as a function or not a function. So a relation is a comparison between any x value and a y value. Now a function is when you have exactly one y value for every single x value. So again, if each x value has one y value, you have a function. Another way to say that is each input has exactly one output. So in this case, 1 only goes to 2, 5 only goes to 6, 7 only goes to -1, and 8 only goes to 0. So this is a function. Now the idea of a one-to-one function is kind of going the other way. So a one-to-one function, or a one-to-one expression, is for each output, there is exactly one input. So for something to be one-to-one, not only is it a function, but then when I go backwards and check the y values, each y value only has one x value. So 0 only goes to 8. -1 only goes to 7. 6 only goes to 5. And 2 only goes to 1. Let's take a look at another way to see this. This here is called a mapping diagram. And when you have a mapping diagram, the first box is your domain, and your second box is a range. So, is the relation a function? Well, I look. 1 only goes to one number. 2 only goes to one number. 3 only goes to one number. 4 only goes to one number. And 5 only goes to one number. So there aren't multiple arrows leaving each of these numbers. So yes, it is a function. So then we have to look to see if it's a one-to-one or if it's not one-to-one. So what that's saying is when I go the other way around, from the range to the domain, is there only one domain value for each range value? So notice here at the 17, that 17 is mapped to both 1 and 2. So this is not one-to-one, because there's more than one domain producing that range. Let's try it with another mapping diagram. Alright, so again, the first one's your domain, second one's your range. So if I look at this, is there exactly one range value for each domain? Well, -2 goes to 5, but 3, it's going to both 6 and 7. So this is not a function. So then when I go to check it, whether it's one-to-one, I am looking to see if on my range values, if it only goes to one domain value. And if you notice, each range only has one arrow approaching it, so this is one-to-one. Now we can test whether something's a function when we have a graph by using what's called the vertical line test. Okay, so a vertical line test is telling us when you have a function, if you can pass a vertical line over the graph and it only ever touches once. So let's see what that looks like. So here's a vertical line. Do you see how the graph is only touching it once? Here's another vertical line. Again, it only touches it once. Another vertical line. Again, it only touches it once. So it doesn't matter where I take this vertical line, everywhere the graph is only touching it one time. That's what the vertical line test says. Oh boy, I'm not going to be able to erase all these dots probably. Well, just remember the pink lines, or the pink dots went with the vertical line test. Now, another way that I do that in the classroom with kids is I just have them move their pen back and forth across the graph instead of drawing all over the graph. And that makes it to where they can look at it again later. So now in order to tell if it's a one-to-one function is with the horizontal line test. Alright, so it's one-to-one if the graph only touches it once at a time. So if I create these horizontal lines going across the graph, does the graph only touch it in one spot? So just like with my vertical line test, this thing's also passing the horizontal line test because it's only touching these horizontal lines once at a time. Okay, so on this example, not only was it a function, but it was also a one-to-one function. And you can tell that because it's a straight line as well. So again, so it's both a function and it's one-to-one. Alrighty, until next time.